Black Orchid New York headquarters, Rachel Cohen, head of Black Orchid, and Detective Davin Baxter discuss the kidnapping of Davin's wife Anne Hancock. Progress is being made, but she is still missing almost 4 days later, and not a word from the kidnappers. And also no new murders by the eyes for you, killer.
Detective Baxter, I know you've spoken with Ms. Chakrabarti, and she tells me we are making progress, but perhaps you and I can chat a bit to fill in some gaps in our research on Anne Hancock.
Please call me Devon. I'm not working on the case officially since they took me off. We're not as formal here, and if I may, without being too presumptuous, call you something other than Miss Cohen?
Well, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So Davin, you may call me Rachel. Before we arrived in New York, we did a cursory background check on you and your wife. We know she was born in Jamaica, adopted by an American couple 35 years ago. We know she went to Columbia, and the two of you have been together for several years at your current location in the Chelsea area on the west side of Midtown Manhattan. We know she has a PhD in psychology, a master's in analytical mathematics, a degree in medieval literature. She can speak English, Spanish and French. She studied for 2 years at the Sorbonne in Paris. She is highly functioning autistic. She's an off-the-charts math whiz. She sees highly complex systems and can organize them by recognizing patterns.
Well, you got some of that right. We do live in Chelsea, and she did go to Columbia University, but Anne was not born in Jamaica and was not adopted. But if that is the info you have, I know where you got it.
To tell. We pride ourselves on our intel work. If it is not up to par, I need to know so we can correct it.
Well, it is a little complicated, and I assume what we say here will be kept confidential?
Davin, I assure you we are not gossips, and we take our jobs seriously and our clients more so. Yes, it is confidential.
Anne is mixed race. Her father was white, her mother black. Anne's mother was South African, and would be considered colored by the apartheid language of the day. She was mixed. Black African Zulu, in fact. She was from a long line of warriors. Anne's grandmother was Indian, studying medicine in Cape Town, South Africa. So although colored, they were privileged and well-to-do for not being white. Anne's father was American, but of German, Jewish and Spanish descent. Her paternal great-grandparents died in Germany in 1942, in the Holocaust. Her grandfather, as a 3-year-old, was sent to live with relatives in Argentina, and then to California. Her father was born there in 1959 and is American. He studied in Europe in...
Yes, go on.
Her parents met at university in Hamburg, got married while still in school and moved back to New York. They were politically active socialists and activists. They got into some trouble and had to go into a witness protection program for a while. Anne Hancock is not her real name, but for all official purposes it is. Her parents live somewhere in the wilds of Idaho. Anne was not about to go with them. She started college at 16 on a full academic scholarship, but kept her promise to not give away her true identity. That is why I asked you to keep this confidential. She wasn't even supposed to tell me, and I'm her wife.
Miss Cohen and Miss Chakrabarti says they have identified the van and have a match with one of the DNA samples. They also have narrowed down the list of people who have ordered ice picks like the ones used in the murders.
So where do we go now?
We are going to find the van. The Department of Motor Vehicles says it is rental and is equipped to transport handicapped people. In other words, it is a lift on the back. We are to go and do a forensic sweep and look for any clues that might prove Anne Hancock was in the van.
Aburrido. Quaero hablar algunas coisas.
English Zimena.
Burin. I want to smash some heads.
Awful quiet there, Tin Man. Are you asleep? Just as well. It is very interesting, the pages that have been torn out of Larry's book Eyes on Me, but no one sees. They are very revealing. Here the person has highlighted passages about Sir Anthony Beecham and how he and Larry met. It talks about how Beecham tries to save Larry Doherty and how the billionaire playboy Robert von Wattenberg seduced Doherty as a young innocent boy, pimped him out as a K-for-pay hustler, hooked him on drugs to keep him docile, and sold him into sex slavery. Very interesting note written in the margin. He got what he deserved. He's a vegetable in a coma, in a clinic, in Switzerland. All the money in the world could not save him. Ha ha ha. Karma is a bitch. The handwriting is definitely juvenile and most probably a girl. The note is hand-printed and not written in cursive, so the person is relatively young, must be under 30. You got something to say, Tin Man? I did not think so. Anyway, there are post-it notes on the board with Therri Beecham's picture. Same handwriting, and some bullshit about how Tony tried to save Doherty from a life of crime and sexual perversion by him giving him shelter. But his wife found out and ruined it. She divorced Beecham when all he was trying to do was save Larry. Whoever is behind this is clearly in denial of Larry Doherty's homosexuality. They are in for a big surprise. There are all kinds of pictures of Doherty and his co-star Sienna Morgan. Her death was real important and significant to whoever is obsessing over Larry. Oh, Tin Man, and whoever is watching me. You have got to be young. Who else would stock the mini fridge with pizza rolls, Gatorade and Skittles? Really guys, not a single adult beverage. Are you barbarians or Baptist? If you keep me much longer, I am going to complain to the management about the food service.
Larry, have you spoken to Davin Baxter lately? Have they heard anything more about Miss Hancock? Any ransom note? You know we would help if they needed money, right?
I should call her. Don't you think? It's the least we could do, since this is all my fault somehow.
Hush now. Stop that guilt trip nonsense. Call her and offer our help. Find out how she is doing. And stop beating yourself up over this.
To be continued.